Hello everyone, and I want to talk about in this video the kind of state of Anitube, and why I quit and why I think a lot of other smaller creators quit as well. So I'm not really going to waste any time and I'm just going to get straight into it. So on Anitube, you have a kind of certain archetype, if that's the word, I don't know how you say it, of different Anitubers. So there's the ADHD editors, so the people that just create crazy fast clips and crack jokes all the time. You've got the kind of reactors or the summarizers who don't really say anything extra. They're just sat there watching or replaying the anime and just telling you what happens. I personally don't see the appeal there, but these channels do kind of well. So there must be something there for people that like it. Then you have the kind of Reddit jokers, the people who just, I think they just look at whatever is happening on Reddit and they take the jokes or they take the current thing that Redditors like and appeal to them. And then finally, you have the kind of pseudo-intellectual or video essayists where people just have a kind of opinion on something. It may even be a weak opinion on it, and they kind of just like put it across as if it's fact, or, they just speak with confidence and make it sound like their opinion is right. And I want to be clear, like there's friendly fire in this because I was definitely making videos like that, so I'm a bit of a hypocrite myself. But yeah, I just think generally speaking, obviously there is good Anitubers out there definitely is. But the majority of people I think are just lazy and they just either repurpose content from Reddit or they just crack the same jokes over and over again. Or they just, just react, quote unquote, to certain anime or certain manga, and they're not really adding any value in my opinion. But again, this isn't everyone, I want to be clear, but there is a lot of people that do this kind of content, all these kinds of content. So on to like why I think people quit and maybe why Anitube is in this kind of way. I don't really know. But the first big issue, if you've ever made a video for Anitube, as you might know, is there's a lot of copyright strikes, especially if you're trying to cover anime or manga which is new, and even not sometimes. So older anime, when you tend to use clips of it, when you upload it to YouTube, they'll tell you whether you're breaking some kind of copyright or like your clips are too long, and then you go back into editing and you shorten the clips, or you try and find different clips and cut it up a bit so it doesn't get detected by the content ID system. Obviously, you probably are using it for fair use anyway if you're adding some kind of insightful commentary or any kind of commentary really. But regardless of that, you're trying to avoid this content ID claim that's automatic. If you make videos on new anime, obviously there is no automatic claims for it yet. So what happens is you make a video on a newer anime or a newer manga, everything's going well, and you're probably getting quite a lot of views because it's a hot topic. And then suddenly your video just gets striked out of nowhere and you've done your channel some damage. And also, if you're trying to get monetized, you've probably just lost like hundreds of hours of like watch hours towards your monetization. So you're not going to get monetized. It's going to take you even longer and you have to pump out more videos. And they have to do well as well, of course. So that's a kind of big issue. And along with that, like, if you try and use anime soundtracks and anything, like any kind of music, you're also just going to get it striked unless you make it too quiet to detect from the automatic systems. I get this because, it is music and I guess like it is copyrighted or whatever. Even if you're using it under fair use, there's just no way YouTube can tell. And if you're not, then, I guess that's fair. But from a creative standpoint, it's kind of a pain because you might want to use this music to add emotion or, add a nice element to your video, and you just can't do it because, again, you're fighting against copyright and it's just becoming this massive deal that's just stupid to deal with. And these copyright strikes and these copyright claims, or mainly it's strikes, the Japanese companies don't seem to just come at you with a claim. They're just like, boom, no, take the video down, we don't like it. And obviously, if you get 3 strikes within a certain period, your entire channel gets terminated. So it makes it kind of off-putting and kind of deterring to actually make anime videos. So that's kind of like one of the reasons I stopped, because when you put a lot of effort into a video, and believe it or not, it can take quite a long time to make a 10-minute video, even if there isn't a lot of editing in it. So for example, I made a video on Freyren, a manga that was like fairly new at the time when I made the video. It was really good, I really liked it, and I made a review of it where I talked about why it was so good and why people should check it out, and it got not even a lot of views. I think it was something around like between 5 to 10k views. And one day I just logged into my channel and this video was completely removed. I had a strike, and then I got another strike for some other video I did. I think it was on 86, the anime. And then you have 2 strikes and it's like one more and your channel's gone. So it's kind of a pain. And I think this is why a lot of people quit, because they're excited about anime. They want to talk about newer anime or newer manga, and so they upload videos on it. And then they get striked and they're like, oh, I could lose my entire channel just because I want to talk about stuff I'm interested in, which obviously isn't very fun. And then you're kind of stuck having to make videos on older anime or older manga where I guess the automated content stuff's already in place. And sure, this is good because, there's evergreen content to be made there on anime that's always popular or always going to be popular. But that might not be something that you constantly want to make videos on. You don't constantly want to be hanging around to wait for an anime to be old enough to like make a video on. That's just so stupid. And the second reason I quit, which is a bit more personal to me, but screw it, I just want to talk about it anyway, is frankly I became obsessed with analytics. So when I started my channel, I actually hadn't watched that much anime, and I was just talking about Hunter x Hunter because it was amazing. I really enjoyed it, and I started doing like analysis videos on that, and the videos are pretty bad, I can't lie. But well, I think my analysis was good, but like production and editing was terrible and stuff like that. But yeah, and some of them did okay, they didn't do that bad. And then I made a video on some other stuff, some more like recent anime that was coming out, and I started getting views, like 1,000 views on videos and 10,000 views on videos, and so on and so on. And as I saw this success, obviously you want to double down on the things that are doing well, and you start looking for topics you think are going to get a lot of views, and you kind of become like beholden to the algorithm. You're like, oh, what's going to do well? What's going to get me the most views? What's going to get me the most subscribers? Even if that stuff isn't necessarily what you're interested in. And that's the exact trap that I fell for. I started trying to get more views and more subscribers, and I ended up talking about things that I didn't really care about. And because I'm talking about things I don't care about, I burnt out because like I didn't want to make the videos. So I ended up becoming like a slave to these metrics and stuff like that, instead of actually just making what I wanted to make. And then when you find that sweet spot, so for example, I think it's still public on my channel right now, I have a video on Kingdom, the manga. I really wanted to talk about it. I put quite a lot of effort into the video, and it did somewhat well by, I guess, manga tube standards, or like at least not terribly. So that's nice. It's just hard to find things like that. And there's tons of videos on my channel which are either like private or unlisted, just purely because they might get striked, or they're just bad or something like that. And yeah, I think just as a whole, there's this issue with Anitube where, firstly, there's a lot of lazy Anitubers out there. That's why you get a lot of garbage content. Secondly, there's lazy Anitubers out there because of all this content stuff. Probably they're like, oh well, why am I going to put effort into making copyright stuff? Sorry, I should say. Like they're thinking, why should I put effort into these videos when they're just going to get copyright striked? Because that's kind of exactly how I felt. And then sometimes you get these videos where there's this effect or this thing, if you've done any YouTube before, where you'll put like a ton of effort into a video and you think it's going to do amazing, and it does awfully. And then I'll upload a video where I just waffle about some like manga or something and just throw gameplay in the background, and it performs better retention wise and like view wise, whatever, than any other video on the channel. And you're like, like why is my most low effort video getting rewarded and my highest effort videos getting punished? Obviously there's a reason for that. The algorithm does its thing, But that again is maybe another reason why these people kind of give up and just make like low quality content. Same as me, really. My content fell off hard, and there's a lot of low quality stuff I've like hidden and like unlisted or made private. So yeah, but I don't really know where the future of Anitube goes from here. Respect to the people out there who are making like good videos and stuff, or I guess lazy content, what I would call lazy content, like reactions and summaries. There's obviously an audience for it, and I'm just not the audience. But yeah, so that's just kind of like my random 10-minute rant on Anitube after not uploading for like years. So yeah, peace.